Recently, some EU auditors have come out to say that we're not trying hard enough to make electric cars work within the EU. And that's in fact, Ireland here has one of the worst infrastructures you can have for electric cars. And so what they suggest is price reductions, bringing down the price of EVs for everyone, not just for the rich and wealthy. And the problem with that becomes that the EU really has some competition. That's because the Chinese are here, and this is coming out. But what they want is more of a protectionist stance that protects the European builders because it costs about €15,000 to make a battery in Europe. But BYD here, who make their own batteries, also make the batteries for most of the other car companies. So they kind of have a market advantage. But then, what's to be said about the BYD Seal? This is the supermodel of all electric cars, isn't it? It's better looking than what I think it's based on, the Hyundai Ioniq 6. It has a tinier rear end, certainly, than the Ioniq 6. Maybe not as efficient, maybe the drag coefficient might be a little bit worse in this car, maybe it's not. I'm not sure, I don't know. But it looks like a supercar, right? I mean, it looks like an elegantly designed car. And that's what the Chinese want from you. Because if you look at a BYD Dolphin, well, that's a little bit more awkward looking. And yet, it still manages to be very cool. I mean, look at the rear end of that diffuser on the bottom. It's good. Now, to open the hood, you can use one button here, or you can do that from remote control. There is a button there on the back. The boot space opening might not be the largest, but as you can see from this picture, I actually got a bike in that yesterday. No problem. A folding up bike inside. I know the bike is made by Mini, but it's in there anyway. The boot compartment is actually okay. There's room in there for your cables and all your stuff. It's fine. It's not going to be a pram swallower or a big family swallower, but the rest is okay. It is quite slow closing. Let's just have a look at the back seat there. So in the same Tesla style, the pop-out handles disappear if you leave the car alone for too long. It feels lonely. Look at the room I have. Look at that space. Look at it. Full twist in the back. Absolutely flat floor in the rear. And you got an armrest instead of two cup holders in. There's no load through, so there's no way of dropping that to get more space in there. But you can lower the whole seat to get something in the back. 60-40 split. The seat belt stays with it. I'm not convinced that's a good idea, never have been, but it does mean that the opening is huge to allow stuff through. But the seat belts do retract perfectly well out of the way. I have a glass roof in this one, and I promise you probably need it back here. Those seats have big shoulders, which means they block out the light from the front of the cabin to the rear. And the windows back here are actually quite small, they're not huge. So you will feel a little bit dark in the back without the glass roof. This has one electric window, and there's nothing else that I can see back here apart from two USB ports. And in the proper Chinese way, knowing that we still have older phones and older cables, there's USB A and C. The European lads will learn a little bit from that, then you dispose of your own cables all the time because you change from the USB-C. You should be able to use any cable you want. The same sort of applies up front. These beautiful BYD seats are amazing, but I have to say, there's not a lot of shoulder, and the lumbar support on it is always on, always pushing. You have big screen in the middle, Tesla starting that, but BYD have made it better. I'm going to start the car and show you why. There's two wireless chargers here, which are utterly useless, unless you want to down your phone. So you can't just leave your phone down, it now must charge. So the phone must be doing something. I don't like wireless charging. I think wireless charging is super inefficient in cars, and what it does is heat your phone up. So it's not working for me. But this screen rotates like this. It has no purpose for rotating other than to display it vertically, which now looks a bit like Tesla. So it can be done. Even in out of the home screens, the menus, the Android Autos, Apple CarPlay, all that stuff in both landscape and portrait. Please note, Apple CarPlay does not rotate in this car. So when you rotate from one to the other, it says it won't rotate when you're connected by Apple CarPlay. Near-field communication written up here, I don't know why. I can't figure that out. I'm sure it's in the manual somewhere, but I just couldn't find it. Why that says NFC and stuff. But other than that, is a little area for your key or something, quite a deep pocket, 2 cup holders here, and a center circular item that controls many functions of the car. Air conditioning is actually on this, and modes for the car is on this, and parking sensors and stuff. Now, the problem I have is I hit park sometimes, and I hit start stop instead of parking, turn the car off. And every once in a while, when I'm doing something up here, I'll knock the car into reverse and neutral while I'm parked. See, it's still there now. So just when I'm sitting here, and I know what on a screen that some of them, I'm looking at things, you have to keep in mind your hand will knock it into neutral. That can happen when you're driving. Walk into reverse, but it can go into neutral, okay? Air conditioning is super blow in your face when it comes on auto first. You can go in and turn it down. It actually has smart air, which swings the vents around up and down to distribute the air around the car. And it has a PM outside and inside monitor built in, so it's monitoring the amount of parts per million outside to turn things on and off in here to block you from getting putrid air from the nearest diesel. So there's so much happening now in this. It actually has the nicest charge screen ever. This screen stays on while you're charging, telling you how much power is coming into the car, how long you're going to be, all that stuff stays up on the screen. Although it does set the alarm off after a while. When you're sitting in the car and you're charging, doors open, you're sitting there scrolling your phone, the alarm goes off. And I don't know why that is. I'm not sure what it's monitoring or how to disable that. It is, without doubt, one of the nicest interiors I've seen on any car in a good 5 years. And I think BYD have nailed it. But let's find out how it drives. Beautiful startup thing. It's a very nice car to sit into, and I mean, very nice. This is actually sort of beyond what a lot of European car makers have tried to do. This manages to feel a little bit luxurious and a little bit executive without really trying too hard. I've one big bugbear, and that is the indicator stalk on the right. That I was not expecting. That I thought was left to the Japanese cars in the 80s. No, we have it here. Now, I don't know whether I'm going to update that or not. That was not the way it was in the BYD Dolphin, just in the Seal. The only other complaint I have here is that the lumbar support in this car is always on. It's always prodding me in the back. Even though I have it turned to its minimum area, I still have quite a lot of curve in my back in the seat. And I feel maybe the seat squab is a little bit thin as well. That's not to say it's uncomfortable, that's just to say it's a little bit tricky. Now, other really cool features of BYD, of course, is you can flip the screen here. There's the screen, which goes vertical or horizontal as you drive. You decide. Just hold fire there for a second.
Please be careful of cars coming behind you and opening the door.
I hear that, yeah. Now, I was just checking my camera there to make sure it's all okay, but you might have heard the sat-nav spark up and say, please be careful of cars coming from behind you and all that, you know what I mean? There's a huge amount of safety equipment on this car, and in the safety menu, it's actually called ADAS, and it's really bad. I really, honest to God, it's the only thing that actually put me completely off the car, is how they've integrated the system that looks after safety. And it is a problem because every time I go into a zone where there's a different speed limit, I get a beep. Every time there's a junction ahead, I get a beep and a flashing symbol. Every time I drift over the speed limit by 1 kilometer an hour, there's more beeps. When I go back under and then slightly over again, there's more beeps. It's just endless amount of beeps that don't seem to want to stop. And when you add into that you want to use the sat-nav, the built-in sat-nav to do stuff, then there's just so many different things happening in the car, it's actually a distraction. Now maybe there will be a software update to deal with that problem, and you won't have to worry about it again. But in actual fact, here we go. I'm doing 54 in a 50. Sue me. I'm doing 52 now, that says 49 there on the machine, so the machine is more accurate than the speedo, I think. As I come across the brow of this hill on the other side, I lift off my foot. I'm not getting much resistance from the car. It's not minus 9 kilowatts. That's it in the brake. And then it goes up. I use the actual friction brake. So I'm going to driving assist here in this thing, and it has lane support system (LLS), traffic sign recognition (TSR), high beam assistant (HMA). Not sure how high beam assistant becomes HMA. Anyway, driver attention warning (DAW), and child presence detection (CPD). Not sure what you're detecting a child from, but it's there, right? So you can turn stuff on and off if you want here, and that's where the beeps come from and stuff happens on the screen. It is quite frustrating to listen to the car beeping and banging and making noises and stuff. It is quite frustrating. What's not frustrating is the drive. The actual driving of this car is effortless. I have to say, range doesn't seem to be an issue here. I have 59% battery. I can do 307 kilometers. A little over half the battery. It has active cruise control. It has one of the finest textured steering wheels I've felt in my life. It feels like a sporty steering wheel. And indeed, it is fast. It is properly quick. It feels brisk on you, feels like it wants to go. There is some modes I can get into that I can find. I'll turn that onto auto. Shut that up a bit. So I do have physical controls here at the bottom. And I will point out that the parking brake is right beside the start-stop button. And I have a habit of turning off the car when I mean to enter the park. It effectively does the same thing. It allows the car to be in the park anyway. But it is kind of frustrating, you know? Stuff you had a tractor now. And we will blast by. This thing is, you never get caught overtaking a car in one of these. It is rapid. It lifts up and it goes. No matter what mode it's in, and it's currently in normal. And there is a way of changing that. Mode, here we go. Mode, when you go into, no, that's not mode. That's no good. That's not mode, that's mode up there. Which mode are you looking at? Let's go home. Where's mode? Oh, mode. There's another mode over here that changes. Oh, here we are, sport. We're in sport mode now. It goes great. Why is there a mode there and a mode there? That's car mode, and that's Bluetooth mode and stuff. You can't have two things, two controls, calling the same thing in a car. You can't. Never do that. We're turning left here, so all is well in my world. The courier chop there. Yep, you're it. That is so quick. that is enormously quick. I think I can safely say that if BYD get what they want, and that's market dominance, then we can safely say goodbye to a number of car companies. Because I honestly think that BYD is on a market charge now. I mean, they are properly shooting ahead with what they're going to do. It's amazing to see how easily they've moved forward. And not only have, like, you look at the Dolphin and then look at the Seal and go, hang on a second, they're two different designers. And it's amazing to see how fast they move, because BYD have been making batteries for decades. A lot of the batteries in your phones, in your car, are made by BYD. And now they decided to make cars. And they've got so much money to invest in that system that they just bought 3 ships. Just the capital cars around in the world quick enough. Just went out and spent billions on 3 ferries to ferry their cars around. Pretty good, huh? This Seal is BYD flexing its muscles. And I really do mean, this is a Chinese company who say, you know what, Europe, we don't need to sit back here and sell you batteries. We can make better cars than you. And that's what's after happening. A lot of the European companies have been left standing, holding their things in their hand and going, what did we do wrong? How did we miss this opportunity? Because a lot of the European companies have gone to China to make cars there. Because to sell cars in China, you have to produce them there. And what Chinese trying to do is come here and go, yeah, well, if you're going to sell cars in China, we're going to sell them in Europe as well. And they've made something quite extraordinary. This Seal, weird name, I know, and the Dolphin really set the trend for what they can do in Europe. But you ain't seen nothing yet, because their Chinese lineup and the lineup that's going to America is second to none. They have some serious machines among them. What's the future hold? I think everything. I think we're going to have synthetic fuels. I think combustion engines are going to be around for years. I think electric cars are going to be definitely a large part of the future in Europe. I think PHEV, if they ever get them right, will start to take over too. There have been some great cars out recently. They're starting to get everything, but there's a war. And this is not the first shot, but this is the first part of a very big battle. Anyway, look, thank you very much for watching. I hope you hit the subscribe button. This channel lives and dies, of course, upon your subscription. And YouTube has been fairly miserable lately about sharing videos or promoting channels. Lots of people are leaving YouTube, and I don't really want to. I just fought cancer and won to some degree, and I don't intend on going back and doing anything else in the moment. So hit the subscribe button. Take it easy, everybody. Make sure you check your bits and pieces for cancer. Also get a mouth check for mouth cancer, head and neck cancer as I had, and only my dentist was the one who spotted it. So check yourself regularly and make sure you keep your appointments with your dentist or dental hygienist. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you hit the subscribe button. And until the next time, I shall see you on the far side. On the Chinese brand.